Hello everybody, this is Charles, and in this video we're going to learn how to use clipping masks in Photoshop to fit any image into any shape. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and click the bell notification so you don't miss weekly videos. Let's get started. So what are clipping masks? Well, usually you start out with two layers, so you can have a top layer that contains content visible only when the bottom layer content is visible. So in this case, my top layer or content is visible there, and below it I have what I call the mask layer, or the bottom layer, which actually controls the visibility. That has transparency. So Photoshop clipping masks, unlike layer masks, are controlled by transparency, where the control layer or bottom layer is transparent. The clip layer will be invisible. Where the bottom layer is filled with content, the clip layer will be visible. So the simplest use of a clipping mask is combine two layers into one. So here we have, in this example, I have a background layer and I created some text on it. And if I turn off the background layer, there is my transparency. So here I've named my text layer mask, and that is the controlling layer. This mask controls the visibility. When I turn on the clip layer, what it's going to show is only the clip layer through the mask that is visible, that is not transparent. So I'm going to turn on my clip layer, and I'm going to explain this in a minute, but I'm going to clip it to the layer below. And so now you can see that my mask layer has controlled the visibility of my clip layer. So now it's looking like one image is inside the other. And you can also clip multiple layers in a single mask. I only have one layer clipped, but I can move it around. You can see it in the text. So how do we create clipping masks? Well, we have a few keyboard shortcuts here to help us out. So if you hold down the Option on Mac and Alt on PC, click on the clipped layer. Now that's the layer on top of your mask layer, and you can see that the cursor changes with the arrow pointing down. You click and you have your clipping mask. To release it, click on Alt or Option again, and you see that the cursor changes and it has like a strike through the arrow pointing down. Click again and you've released the clipping mask. You can also use keyboard shortcuts. Command Option G will give you a clipping mask, and that is Option Alt and G on PC. And if you want to release the clipping mask with a keyboard shortcut, Command Option G, and you've released it. So clipping masks can help you merge your layers, and this could be really helpful for a lot of situations, including composites. So in this example, I'm going to show you how clipping masks actually work and how you can use them to your advantage. So let's build a little composite here. On this layer here with this phone, I'm going to use the quick selection tool. I'm going to come up here and get the quick selection tool and select the inside of this phone. Now I want a new layer with that selection on it. So I'm going to come down here and create a new layer, and then I'm going to fill this layer with black. So here on a Mac it is Option Delete, and black was my foreground color, and I'm going to deselect that, Command D, and now I have another image that I want to bring in. So with my move tool, V for the move tool, and I'm going to bring this image into this base image. Okay, and right away we can see that this image we just brought in is way too big. So here's where our clipping mask comes in. Let me rename this layer Cobblestone, and I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Command Option G, and now my image of the cobblestone is clipped to the inside of the phone. And if I use my move tool right now, I can move this around any way I want to position this. In fact, I think I want to make this image just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to hit Command T for the free transform tool and just make it a little bit bigger. Click the check mark. So I can move this around and get some scenery in there. So we've already seen where we've used 2 layers to do our clipping. We have our control layer, which is actually the layer 1, and our clipped layer, the cobblestone. But I think I want to make an adjustment to this layer that's inside the phone right now. So I'm going to use a curves adjustment layer. Say I want to add some contrast. If I just make an adjustment just like something like that, you can see I've actually affected the whole image. I affected the hand and the content inside the phone. You can see that the whole image has changed, and I don't want that. So we have something called a clipping mask. Let me undo this, and with the adjustment layers you can actually come down here and you see where right here there's an icon that will actually do our clipping for us. So if I click on that, now this curves layer is clipped to the cobblestone layer, and when I make an adjustment, I just make a quick adjustment. You see it's just affecting the brightness inside the phone and not the hand. So that is a strength or an advantage of using clipping masks. And so if I want to put a little bit of contrast in here, I can make it curve just like that. There's before and there's the after. So I can keep on clipping layers and stacking them. Every time I add a layer and I clip it, it's only going to affect what's inside of that phone. So now here is the composite part. I'm going to take this layer, this young lady with the camera. I'm going to use the move tool and bring it right into the image that has the phone. And so right now I can move it all over the place. But what do we have? We have a clipping mask. We can clip it to the layers below. So keyboard shortcut, Command Option G. So it is clipped with everything else, and it is only going to work, and I'm going to move it now. It is only going to work within the boundaries of that phone because it's clipped to layer 1. Everything, cobblestone, the curves, and layer 2, which is the subject, is clipped to layer 1. So I can hit Command T, and I'm going to adjust her so she's a little bit smaller in this image, and click on the check mark to commit the change. And so are you starting to see that the value of clipping masks? Here we're doing a composite, and we have all these layers that we're merging using clipping masks. I can go further. Let me add a hue and saturation adjustment layer. And again, if I want to say take down the saturation in this image, if I just of course change my saturation, it's affecting the whole image. So what do I have to do? I have to clip it to the image below. So hue and saturation adjustment layer selected, Command Option G, and it is clipped to the layers below. And now if I adjust my saturation, it only affects the layer where the subject is. And you can keep stacking them and clipping them. So now I'm going to add a levels adjustment, and I'm going to go for this icon right here, and I'm going to click on that. So now this levels layer is clipped to everything below it. And if I want to do a little bit with the midtones, you see I'm adjusting that, trying to get it so we can blend her into the background. But so there it is, the power of clipping masks. You can use it for compositing, or you can use it like we did the first example where it looks like there's an image inside text. It's pretty fun once you get the hang of it. Go ahead and try it. So let me ask you, what do you think about clipping masks? Let me know in the comments below. If this video was helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. If you want more short tutorials, check out the videos on the screen right now. And remember, it's never too late to learn. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.